Weeping lasted all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I'll march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there has got to be another way and a brighter day. So I march on. Hello, and welcome to Pure Live. It is Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Tonight we have an exciting guest. I am so excited about this guest. He's really, really great. But before we get into that, you know what we do. We start with our sponsors. So here we go. And you guys know I love this organization. They supported me. They are part of the reason I have this platform in the first place. If you need an organization to help get you going and support you and back you, they have courses that'll help you focus in on what it is that you're trying to accomplish and take you step by step through those goals. So they're a great organization to get behind. Also, we have Motives Cosmetics, which I wear on the show. Here we go. All right. And also, can't forget about eyewear. We sell these. We got the shades and the blue blockers. And for Abella Eyewear and Motives Cosmetics, if you want those discounts, you go on my website, asiajamal.com or asiajamal.net. And for Abella Eyewear, you get 30% off if you use my link. You're welcome. Now, without further ado, we are going to welcome our special guest for today. Hello, Tito. Thank you for being
Hello.
on.
Hello, Asia. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me to be on your show. This is amazing.
Oh, you're very welcome. Please introduce yourself for the audience.
Yes, my name is Tito Carrillo, and I am a trumpet player. I am an educator. I teach at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. But before
Mm.
I was the big educator. I started my career in Chicago in the mid '90s as a jazz artist, and ever since I've been continuing to compose music, create music, lead groups, and that type of thing. So,
Awesome, awesome. You guys, this dude is really, really awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So let's start from the very, very beginning. Where is Tito from?
oh my goodness, I am originally from Austin, Texas. I was born there to a Puerto Rican father and a Mexican American mother. I joke with people that I'm a Tex-Mex Rican, and yeah, I grew up in a very musical household in terms of people who just loved music, especially my on my dad's side, who loved listening to the salsa that he grew up with, from
Mm,
so he was always pumping that in the house. And then I had an older sister. There's only two of us siblings. Um,
okay.
she's about 7 years older than me, and she
Oh,
loved to pump all of the soul and funk, R&B. That's what was coming from her room. And as little brother, I want to do everything Big Sis is doing, and I want to listen to everything.
mhm,
So I'm talking way back. We're talking. Obviously, this is the late '70s, early '80s. So we're talking Stevie
mhm.
Wonder, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're talking about groups like Shalimar. We're
Yes.
talking
Good stuff.
that's right. We're talking about the Sugar Hill Gang. Just a bunch of just great music. And what's
Yes.
interesting is, as I progressed, let's say around the age of 11, you're probably going to get to this, but that's when I started playing the trumpet. And so when you add the salsa and then the R&B, basically black music, black popular music, and then when
Mhm.
I started playing, I had teachers who started showing me the ways of classical music and jazz as well. And all of that's,
Nice.
yeah, that's my foundation.
That is awesome. Start so young. Like, did you always enjoy it, or did you ever get tired of the practice and all that?
I always enjoyed music. My folks, we used to take biannual trips to Puerto Rico every Christmas, every other Christmas, to be with my relatives down there. And since I
Oh.
was probably 5 or 6, they would show pictures of me, grabbing a percussion instrument, playing tambourine while everybody was singing. Like I always wanted to be a part of the music making process, even before I knew how to play anything. and uh,
Nice.
and when it was time to play, it was funny. It's funny you mentioned that, actually, as far as was I always into it. When I started playing the trumpet, first of all, I really wanted to play the saxophone.
Oh.
Way cooler instrument, number one, than the trumpet. But the problem was my older sister had abandoned the cornet, which is like a smaller version of the trumpet. So
Okay.
she chose volleyball instead once she got to high school.
Oh.
So we had this beat up old cornet sitting in the closet collecting dust, and my parents were like, "No, you're going to play that, okay?" So I started playing it, but it's funny because at the same time I was playing baseball, like little league baseball, and I was really into it.
Mm.
And I remember that the first band concert was also the same night as opening day in Little League Baseball. That
Oh,
in Texas, you play baseball all year round, right? And
makes sense.
I chose to go to the baseball game without informing my director I would not.
Oh no, bad Tito.
That kind of shares, like where my mind was at the time. I really wasn't all that into it, but
Yeah.
uh, thankfully, the very next year I changed schools, and I had
Mhm.
a band director and a music teacher named Cheryl Floyd, who literally, this woman changed my life. She's the
Oh.
one who saw the musical potential in me. She's the one who really got not only on me, but she got on everybody about practicing. We had these practice cards we had to take home, have our parents sign off on how much we're practicing every day. At least 30 minutes is what she expected. And that's really the kind of structure that I needed. Um,
Mm,
and, and good things started happening from there.
that's excellent. I'm curious. So I haven't asked my previous guests this question, but I wonder this because I've been asked this question.
Mm.
And that question is, what is music to you?
Oh my goodness. Now you hit me with a question, boy. Okay. Um, music is communication to me on on a higher level than speaking, uh,
Hmm,
because it music has the ability to communicate human emotions. I would argue better than words can. There's
yes.
some great writers out there. Don't get me wrong, and I do love like literature and things like that and poetry, but there's no barrier between people. Music has this incredible ability to break down our cultural walls that we set up um, between each other.
Hmm.
I've played blues. I've played Latin music in Poland. I've played all over Europe, for example, and Latin America, taken jazz and blues and playing it in Latin America, and it's just amazing how you form a bond with people through sound, people that,
Hmm.
people that you've never met before.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is to me. It's our most powerful form of human communication.
Absolutely, man. I agree so much with that. Yes. Yes. So, what I'm wondering is, how long did it take before you felt that way?
Oh my. Uh, it took me many years to actually get to that point, and I'll tell you why. As I started progressing in music, you start winning competitions and getting
Mhm.
some notoriety and things like that, like throughout my high school years, for example. And so all of that was instrumental in me deciding to pursue music as a career. I knew when I was 16 years old that that's what I wanted to do. But I gotta say, it was a very kind of self-centered thing. I liked how it made
Hmm.
me feel that I was getting all this kind of attention, you see.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
common.
right? And
Mhm.
I would notice though sometimes when I'd play and I thought I was pretty good and and I start like trying to flash what I could do and play a lot of notes and all this stuff. And then sometimes people would play after me and they'd play two notes, three notes, but with a
Mm,
lot of feeling. And I would notice the crowds would respond way more to their
mm,
performance than what I was doing. And I thought I was
mm.
like, you know,
You thought you was the stuff.
running laps around a track or something. And
Mm,
and so it took me a while, even it's through college and as a young professional, to realize, oh, you know what? It's not about playing everything or trying. You don't play music, or you shouldn't play music just to impress people of what you can do. It's
mhm.
really about sharing something really deep and meaningful and personal from who you are, and trying to convey that through whatever your musical uh, instrument is, whether it's the trumpet or whether it's the voice like you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So, since were feeling the attention part of it early on, um, did that like drive you also into your adulthood, or did you like start to feel the music early?
Well, I will say that I did have an ability to communicate emotions through music. I think my teachers would have described me as a pretty expressive type of player. But I think I was also someone who was a little self-conscious because I didn't have any family members that were professional musicians. So when you make
Mm.
a decision that, hey, I want to be a trumpet player. I don't even know what that looks like, but I want to be a trumpet
Right.
player. I don't want to be in an office. I don't want to be doing something else. Um,
Mhm.
then the attention goes to, okay, what do I need to do to prepare myself for that? What are my weaknesses? What do I need? And that's where I
Mm.
started, listening to as many great players as I could, working with the best teachers that I could find. Um, going to study in college and doing all of those things. But I think I was probably led more a little bit out of fear, to be honest with you, because I
Hmm.
really wanted this. I wanted to do this, but I
Okay.
wasn't sure if I had what it took. I wasn't this kind of young. It's weird. I had some confidence in myself, but at the same time, getting a career in music, I mean, that's a daunting task, right?
It
That's
is. It
and
is, especially up against so many other very talented people.
exactly, and that I wasn't really someone driven by competition. I've had friends who they love competition. We had like a little
Me
friendly
too.
competition. uh, but I tell you what, over time, my shift began to take place where I started to get much more excited about the connection I could make with an audience and feel like I
Mm.
could share a part of myself with an audience. Like that was way more exhilarating and exciting to me than the competition part of music. I'm not saying the competition part of music isn't there and it isn't necessary, especially friendly competition, which is what I had in college.
Yeah.
Where when you hear somebody else who's killing it and they're working hard, well, you
Yeah.
want to get up there and step up too.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I started getting comfortable playing and performing in front of audiences and really trying to make a powerful connection. And honestly, right now, that's what drives me more than anything as a musician.
That connection.
Yes.
So, what kind of people would you look at or study when you're thinking, okay, I know I want to do this professionally? Who are you looking at that says, okay, I need to be like this?
Well, when I it's funny you asked that question because I went to two different colleges. I started in my hometown of Austin, Texas. I went to the University of Texas
Mm.
for 2 years, but I got to a point where I felt in order for me to really fulfill this dream, I needed to leave home. It's kind of hard to explain, but my family dynamic at the time, I just felt
Mhm.
they were kind of maybe just thinking, okay, we'll see how long this music thing lasts. And I don't know why I chose it. I didn't pick New York. I didn't pick LA. I picked Chicago. I thought if I can make
Chicago.
right, if I can get closer to Chicago and eventually make my way in Chicago, I thought that would be a
Mm.
great move for me. So I decided to transfer to Northern Illinois University, which is only about an hour and a half west of Chicago. I didn't
Mhm.
know anybody in Illinois. I went
Hmm.
cold. Yeah. And thankfully,
Wow.
I got a really nice scholarship, even though I was a transfer student, to go study there. And during this whole time, not only was I starting to really dig in and study the masters of jazz who had come before, all the way from Louis Armstrong to or Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis and all of the great master musicians. But I also was definitely listening hard to contemporary artists, especially artists
Hmm.
were around my age, and those artists on my instrument would have been like Roy Hargrove, also from Texas,
Hmm.
uh, wonderful jazz trumpet player who we just lost, unfortunately, a few years ago. Uh,
Mhm.
the great Nicholas Payton from New Orleans, Louisiana. So those were I can't really say I had a model for how to build a career per se, but
Mhm.
at least I had a model of what these other fantastic musicians were doing and playing, and I'm like, this is this is the type of music I want to play. These are the type of musicians I want to be like. I want to develop my own persona, but I want to be able to hang with this level of musician. And honestly,
Mhm.
that's what I focused on. I focused on the music. I wish I could say I was learning the business side of music right along with that. I was
Yeah.
doing very little about networking and getting my name out there and all that.
Yeah.
I've had to
That's
learn that.
another beast.
That's another beast, right?
Yeah.
As far as the art and the craft, that's
Mhm.
what I was 100% pretty much focused on when I was in school.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take this moment to play some of this wonderful music. We're
All right.
going to be able to listen and watch Tito perform. Here we go.
We're going to play one of my favorite ballads. This is by unsung pianist Mal Waldron. He calls this one Soul Eyes.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love how that video was shot too. That was from a faculty recital. As I said, I am a university professor down here in Urbana-Champaign area at the University of Illinois. I've been here since 2006, so I'm on year
Wow.
17 now. It's hard for me to believe, but that was from a few years back. That featured our jazz bass instructor and jazz guitar instructor. He does both bass.
Oh, wow.
He plays a bunch of other instruments too. His name is Professor Larry Gray, very well known bass player in the Chicago area for many decades. And then the young lady on the bass was actually one of our doctoral jazz students. Her name is Emma Taylor. She's originally from Central Illinois, Decatur area, and yeah, it's just the trio. I thought it would be beautiful for that nice intimate ballad.
Yes, that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And you guys, we got plenty more to give you. But before we do that, we're going to take a small little break because we're going to get into a game. But before we do all of that, those that are watching via YouTube, this is what I want you to do. Thank you. Subscribe. And if you are watching Facebook or any other way that I'm streaming this right now, follow me. You never know what kind of goodies I have to drop on you. Okay? Make sure you follow me. And we are going to take a quick little break before we play Find the Fake. Here we go. Jamal Rogers, and I'm a singer, songwriter, choreographer, voice actor, and I'm the creator and talk show host of P.U.R.E. Live. P.U.R.E. is an acronym for Perfectly Undefined Raw Elegance. So naturally, we want our content to be pure, raw, and elegant. It airs live every Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. And if you'd like to see all of the episodes, you can reach it at asiajamal.com, ASIAJAMAL.com. Or if you'd like to be on the show, you can reach me at asia@asiajamal.com. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you soon. And I am going to have to update that. I've moved up since then. But
Right.
got more streaming. So now we are about to play Find the Fake. The object of the game is to look at all of the statements that go across the screen and determine which one you think is the fake. If you guess correctly, you can win a prize. So now we are going to play Find the Fake. Here we go. So now you guys have some time to guess. I may, if I'm feeling nice, I might play it again for you. Give you a second chance if I feel like it. I don't know. In the meantime, we're going to continue on speaking to Tito here. First of all, that was amazing. I think I'm going to go back and watch it again. Um, but so, first of all, you have gone from, playing in school and learning and determining, oh, this is what I want to do for real, for real.
Yeah.
See. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if you guessed correctly. We'll see. Um, and then you had the experience of performing with some greats, right?
I did.
So, how did you start moving into that space in the first place?
Well, it started my last year as a student at NIU when we used to have a pretty high profile annual series of concerts at the old Jazz Showcase Club, Joe Siegel's Jazz Showcase. That's basically the top jazz club in Chicago for many, many years and still is going to this day. But they used to be at the Blackstone Hotel every December, and it happened to be going on at the exact same time as a huge music convention known as the Midwest Band and Orchestra Convention. It's one of the largest
Mhm.
conventions. And so a lot of that traffic would come over to watch our college band play with whoever the guest artist that we were playing with. One year it was the great John Faddis on trumpet. Another year it was, I think, Clark Terry, another jazz legend, was there. And so my final year there, I didn't realize that the jazz critic for the Chicago Tribune was in house checking out
Mm,
some of our concerts and
okay.
was obviously writing a little review of the concert and had some very favorable things to say about me as well as a couple of other musicians in the band. And so my director actually started getting calls. Hey, is this Tito available for some gigs? Over
Mm,
the weekend, and so I started actually working my last year of school. It got to a point where almost every Saturday I'd be driving into Chicago to play either a wedding or play with a jazz big band or do something like that. And so that was super important for me because the very next year when I wanted to move to Chicago and pursue my career full time, it actually was a pretty smooth transition for me because I had already begun meeting the musicians and they had
mm,
heard me and I heard them and so when I moved to town, I just grabbed everybody's business card that had ever given me their information, and I literally called up every person one by one. It's my new number. I'm in town now. I'm not driving from the college anymore, and things went uh, really well from there. In fact, about a month or two later, this was 1996, and I got called to play in the pit orchestra for the Democratic National Convention. This would have been President
ooh,
Clinton's second term, and it was at the event was being held at the United Center, and
wow.
so all week I was there in this orchestra. We were backing up people like Aretha Franklin and just huge name artists. All of the news stations and everything were there. But for me, who didn't have a lot of bills, it was a really nice financial foundation for me
Right?
to get started on. I
Like,
think
come
I went,
up.
I think I went out and bought a new trumpet the very next week.
That's amazing. People sleep on on those business cards. I collect as many as I can. Those
Yes.
are important.
Yes, and they were back then because again, this predated all of the iPhone, all of the social media. It wasn't happening back during that time. So you needed those business cards if you wanted to do anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we got professional Tito.
Yeah,
And you have your own music.
that's right.
So I'm going to play this video real quick. It's a little promo that he has that I like. Here we go. That is so cool. I love that promo.
Thank you.
Yes, that's how you do it. That's how you
I'm
do it.
so excited. I'm so excited for this album.
Me too. And you saw what it said. All streaming platforms.
That's
No
right.
excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses. We all got to get that music. Oh,
Yeah.
I would love to hear it on vinyl.
Oh yeah. I may if I get enough interest shown, I may have some produced on vinyl. Right now, we have the digital downloads, of course, that you
Mhm.
can find anywhere, and of course, I do have CDs. If you don't mind me, I'd love to plug it right right now.
Yes, please.
You are listening to my newest album, which is called Urbanessence. That's what it looks like right there. And I'm super excited. This is an album of 9 of my original compositions, which range anything from jazz to Latin jazz to funk to soul. And it's really, since those are the primary influences in my musical persona and my musical vision, I really try to create songs that incorporate elements of those. So it turns into one thing. At least that's my goal. And I'm super excited about the band on this. The group that I assembled is Troy Roberts, who is a outstanding, exciting young New York City tenor saxophonist. We have Jay Sawyer, who's actually a former student here at the University of Illinois, who's also now been living in New York and killing it for the last 10 years. And then I've got some of my Chicago cohorts with me. Ben Lewis on piano, who was on my previous album from about 10 years ago, entitled Opening Statement. And then Clark Summers, one of the busiest bass players in Chicago and anywhere. And then Victor Gonzalez, who's on Latin percussion. He's playing the congas on this one. So
Nice.
So this today is such a special day because today is the first day that this album is on all streaming platforms. This is the drop day today. Yes.
Yay! On my show.
You could not have picked a better time for this, okay? And yeah.
Connected. Yes. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
And you guys, you can go to his website and put it down here. Go ahead, take a minute and write that down.
Please.
I mean, it's his name. Okay, it's his name.com. Boom.
I remember it's 2 R's and 2 L's in my name. That's a
yes, because I messed everything up earlier.
No. It's been the story of my life. It's sort of missing an R or missing an L or something, but no, it's a great I also want to, if I could just plug one more thing, a great place. If you are interested in getting the CD product, there's a website called Bandcamp that really treats independent artists like myself very fairly. and it's very easy to find my my name on Bandcamp. You could even go titocarrillo.bandcamp.com, and there you could download the digital download. You can listen to all the tracks right there, or you could also purchase the CD, and I will mail it to you.
So it's Tito Carrillo.
Bandcamp.com.
Bandcamp.com. Sorry, people. I just had to put it in there so I can have it for later.
I
Okay.
appreciate
it. I'm not going to sleep on this. Okay. All right. And oh my gosh, I'm kind of sad that we're running out of time. I feel like I have to pull you back on the show because we haven't finished, you know? Like
no.
I want to get into so much more. You guys, I mean, he's a professor. He has his own YouTube channel. So before we get into the professor part, yeah, we're gonna explain this because I want people to know about it and go to your channel and subscribe, which I have already done. So follow suit, listeners, please and thank you. So explain why you started this channel in the first place.
Well, my channel is called Jazz Mind with Tito Carrillo. And I started this channel because if you were to ask me which is more important to me, performing music for people or sharing what I know about music and helping to teach the next generations, I wouldn't be able to give you a straight answer because both of them are equally important to me. And I truly mean that. And I've been thinking a while about starting a YouTube channel where I can actually kind of break down the process of learning music and share my experiences that I've gone through, and including a lot of the trials that I've gone through to get where I am today. And if I can help some young musicians or even older musicians. I get a lot of older viewers actually tuning into my channels. I can't tell you how many comments people have said, you know, I haven't played for 20 or 30 years, but I've been getting back to it. And your tutorials have been so extremely helpful to me. So I just started at the end of July, and I'm not going to lie. I started with 60 subscribers at that time.
What? And how many you have now?
Well, I'm up to 1,500, almost 1,600 right now, which we're talking about 2 months of work. And
amazing.
It's really growing quickly, quicker than I anticipated. And I'm having so much fun kind of using a different creative muscle to put content together. I'm actually getting a lot better at editing videos, and it's super fun for me to do it. So if you're interested in learning more about jazz, learning more about the trumpet, and I also have a series on there called Motivational Mondays for musicians, because I know how hard it is for musicians to keep on the grind, you know, like keep pushing forward. You invest so much of your time and energy, and sometimes you're not getting the results that you want. And I wanted to start that series just to kind of give a little juice and a little encouragement to musicians to keep going.
That's nice. I love that. I really do. And the one that was that commented, "Love this." That's actually my brother, who also left home. He went to LA. To pursue. He is a musician himself. He actually produced that song that's in the intro that I played.
Oh, beautiful, wonderful song. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So I know that he definitely appreciates people like you. And there's so many other musicians I'm connected to that I know appreciate people like you. So I've just made this executive decision that I want you to come back.
I would be honored, and I'd love to come back. Absolutely. We got a lot more to get into, don't we?
We do. I'm like looking at the time. I'm like, no, we have so much more. So, okay. So real quick, I'm going to be nice and play the game one more time and give people a chance to guess. And then I want you to speak on it. All right?
Absolutely.
So here we go real quick. Find the fake. Okay, so the guess in the comments was C, but I know that's not correct. So which one was the fake, sir?
The fake answer, well, I can't remember what letter it is now, but it's the one about
It's
having
B.
letter D, having 20
B.
trumpets. Oh, I'm sorry, letter B, having 20 trumpets and over 100 mouthpieces. I am not a gear guy at all. I have my four little trumpets, and I've got maybe less than 10 mouthpieces to my name, to be honest with you. So all of the other things, though, are in fact true. Yeah.
Okay, so the one that was C was actually the one about Quincy Jones. So you want to speak on that one? What's the
Absolutely.
background on that?
Well, it's an amazing story. My college band at Northern Illinois was scheduled to attend the Montreux Jazz Festival, which is a huge jazz festival in Montreux, Switzerland. But we were going to be a college band that was like outdoors at the outdoor stage. And what happened was both Quincy Jones and Phil Collins were going to use the same big band for their concerts. Phil Collins wanted to play drums with a big band. That was been his lifelong dream. And Quincy Jones, I don't know if you know, but before he became the producer, Quincy Jones, he was a jazz trumpet player and arranger. He used to arrange
Mhm.
Basie Orchestra. And so they realized that the one band that they were going to use would not be able to learn all of the music because the concerts were only 2 days apart. And
Oh.
so Quincy Jones, this happened about a month before the concert. His representatives reached out to our college band director and said, "We want your band to play with Quincy Jones and back up for this." It was going to be a special gala concert celebrating Quincy Jones' 50 years in music. And
Oh, wow.
I don't believe it's on YouTube. I'd have to check if it's
Hmm.
on there, but it is a DVD that you can purchase if you check for Quincy Jones live in Montreux, 1996. Excuse me, yeah, 1996. And
Wow.
what was even more fortuitous, I mean, there was an all-star cast of all of these amazing musicians. David Sanborn, Shaka Khan was a guest a guest artist on it. James Morrison, the multi-instrumentalist from Australia, was playing, and the great jazz trumpeter Clark Terry was scheduled to be a part of it as well, but he fell ill, and so
Oh.
he didn't make any of the rehearsals, and we had quite a few rehearsals, and
Hmm.
so it didn't look like he was going to make the concert either. But so they just let this little kid here in the college go ahead and take the solos, and I guess they liked it enough that they didn't call anybody else to replace him. Clark couldn't,
Wow.
and so I actually had the very first solo of the entire concert. Uh,
Wow. Did you feel pressure?
Uh, I was 25 years old at the time, and I was too hot-headed, I think, to get pressure at that time. It just felt like a dream, actually, playing with all of these amazing musicians. But I had a great time doing it. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was just
simply
it was
amazing.
more adrenaline filled and exciting than anything. And then there's another song where I actually get to solo with the great David Sanborn on alto saxophone, who's one of the greats as well. So it was a life changing moment for me, and so yeah, that really happened.
That is so cool. Like all of the other stuff that you've done, you could have just had that one moment and that'd have been enough to take you on
Right?
for the rest of your days.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
That is
But one of
amazing.
the other answers was I got to play with Phil Collins, and yes, that actually happened 2 years later after that fact,
Hmm.
because Phil Collins remembered that this band kind of sounded pretty good, and he wanted to go out on the road for the first time, and play big band music. His favorite drummer of all time is the great big band drummer Buddy Rich. And so that was his idol. And so he'd always dreamed about playing jazz, sitting behind the drums. The thing about Phil Collins, by the way, is he doesn't read music. So
Oh.
he had these charts made up to memorize the arrangements, because the arrangements were very intricate that we were
Mm-hmm.
playing. And I remember taking a look at the charts, and they kind of looked like a comic book. It was like boom, kaboosh, like that kind of onomatopoeia or something. And but that's actually the longest tour that I've ever done. It was 2 months. We did a month in the United States. We started in the Bay Area and came all
Mhm.
through Texas, then the Midwest, and ended up at Carnegie Hall. And then we had about 4 days off, and then we started up in Denmark, Copenhagen, and we visited about, I'd say, 11 countries in the next 3.5, 4 weeks. Playing,
Wow.
it was an amazing experience. And if you're interested in hearing that band, we did have an album. It's called Phil Collins Big Band, A Hot Night in Paris. I'm on that album.
Ooh.
There's also a YouTube. If you check out a YouTube and just search Phil Collins Big Band, you'll see that I'm there in the trumpet section somewhere. So
Wow.
yeah,
Actually, let me put this back up. Just in case you guys didn't notice, I put up his social media.
thank you.
Take it down, write it down. Yes.
Facebook, yeah, Facebook is just my name. Exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. This has been so great. I can't wait to have you back. So we'll discuss. We have more music to play too. So we'll do that in part 2.
That's fine.
So exciting. So, okay. And remember, you guys, go ahead and visit the website,
Yes.
which looks so good. It really
Thank you.
does. Very
Thank you.
colorful. And get that music, y'all. So, what I like to do with all of my guests is give them an opportunity to leave their words of wisdom. So, even though you're coming back, I still want you to do that today. So go ahead and leave your words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Here's my words of wisdom, at least as it pertains to the journey that we take in music in particular. We don't retire in music.
Mm.
Music is not sports where you reach, your mid-30s or your 40s, and now you're over the hill and you got to hang them up. We don't do that. We don't do that in music. Music is seriously a lifelong journey and pursuit, and it's a process. And just when you think you know something about music, you start to become aware of all these other things you don't know how to do. And
Right.
it's amazing how our persona changes, our tastes can change over time. But that's why I look forward to what I do every single day, whether it's interacting with young students, whether it's performing for new audiences or traveling to a new destination to play for a new audience. It's an adventure every single day. And there's many of you out there who've always wanted to invest more time in music, or maybe you've even just wanted to take lessons for yourself. And I'm here to say you're never too late to start. You're never too late to start with those piano lessons or trumpet or what have you, or voice lessons, or to find an outlet for yourself, like a local coffee shop, to go and present your music and sing your songs. You know what I mean? The journey, it's just one little step, baby step after the other, and over time that makes a powerful difference in your life and in the lives of others who are touched by your music.
Yes, sir. I definitely agree with all of that. So, with that being said, remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you. And we will be right back here Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you all have a wonderful evening. I promise I'll bring him back. I promise I'll bring him back. Till next time. Good night, everyone. Bye.
We